We're live.
Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
And it's been a hot minute. All right, let me pull up the conversation page so we can see if any comments pop in before I start. All right. Does anybody have the actual YouTube up so they can see if we're properly streaming?
I can.
Check it real quick, and then we'll get started.
Oh my god, it says we're live.
We are. All right, here we go.
Let me see. How do I sound?
You sound like shit, just like always.
You actually sound pretty good. All right.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's a spooky season on the Culturesmash cast. This is episode 659 for October the 16th, 2024. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of the Culturesmash cast. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash Cast.
Zach?
I'm Zach. I'm a sick. Look, I got a cat.
It helps. It does help.
I have a cat.
So Zach has it sounds like you have a full-on cold, and I've been fighting the temperature change allergy assault on my system that has like nearly incapacitated me a few times. What's up, Zach Moffat in the chat already? Zach is in Australia. He's in Australia.
Wow.
Yep.
What time is it in Australia?
That is a good question. While you figure that out, I'll do the intro.
Or 9 a.m., something like that.
Join us every Wednesday night live on YouTube and Twitch, starting at around 6:15 or 6:30, depending on when we start. My fault. Follow us on your platform of choice and get notified when the show goes live. You can comment, and we will engage with you as we do the news or whatever it is we are choosing to talk about each week. Special thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting the Culturesmash cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee, cocktail, and dessert syrups that are zero sugar. I'm out of practice. 0 sugar, 0 calorie, and 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their... You know, I'm going to do it again. I zoomed in too tight, damn it. We're going to do it again. I'll just cut it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Here we go. Special thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting the Culturesmash cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee, cocktail, and dessert syrups that are 0 sugar, 0 calorie, and 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their drink and dessert syrups, such as white chocolate, salted dark chocolate, and caramel. They also feature a variety of cocktail mixes and water infusions. Spice up your coffee or cocktail with less sugar, calories, and carbs. Use promo code Culturesmash for 15% discount on your order. The pumpkin spice revolution has begun over there. So if you're into that, they have all kinds of options for you. And if you spend $50, you can get shipping for free. Just saying.
You got all that on the first try. That's amazing.
All right, we got it. It's 10:36 Thursday morning in the future in Australia.
Oh, look at this guy with a time machine.
All right. He's calling us from the future. All right. So it has been a hot minute. Has anybody been into anything interesting other than movie stuff? We'll get into that in the box office in just a minute. Anything interesting to speak on?
I bought and am playing the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh, I didn't know that was out already. How was that?
Dude, okay, shit's good. Like, shockingly good. Yeah, it's $70, but I'm about, a third of the way through the game, and I'm at almost 7.5 hours. I mean, that's a good
All right.
turnaround for a one-time playthrough, and I'm 1/3 of the way through it. Also, like, it's really good. Like, there's a lot of subtle stuff in there that if you know the story or if you've played the original, the attention to detail is almost jaw-dropping at moments.
All right. That sounds like something I need to pick up. I was just talking with someone about my PlayStation 5 needing a new game to play, so that sounds like probably...
Also, there's a ton of settings for seeing impaired or for, like, hearing impaired. Like, there's a ton of settings to where it's like, I need to be able to see shit. You can enable it and it'll point it out.
Oh, we like that. We like that. I like that specifically.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Colorblind mode to where it literally will highlight enemies or items or anything like that.
See, we need more games like that for sure.
The only thing I really don't like about it is they're using Unreal Engine 5.
Yep.
So at least on PC now, my PC is getting on up there. It can still run it at around 55 FPS at around medium settings. So it's definitely a beast of a game. But there's a severe stutter occasionally when it'll load new areas. The game will be like, I'm loading, like that. It'll the frame times are fucked a little bit. Hopefully there will be a patch, but there's been no updates since it came out. So that's a technical problem with the game. But
I love that Biscuits just sits there and stares at you while you
he
do the show.
literally, when I'm gaming, he just sits here and stares.
That's so distracting. It's really funny. That's really funny to me.
Especially when he walks over the keyboard. In a game you can't pause.
Yeah. All right.
Hi, Biscuits. I think he flops on the ground.
Perfect. Nico, you got anything interesting to share?
Not really. We've been mostly doing audiobooks, video. I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
So that's been fun. Been mostly doing family stuff with the kid. We've visited the Georgia Aquarium, the Atlanta Zoo. We got to see the pandas before they left the zoo to go to China, so that was neat.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a pretty neat zoo. So all sorts of that kind of family go out and do stuff, kind of thing. Yeah, and audiobooks mostly, just knocking out a bunch of those. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, let's see. It is the spooky season, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But before we get there, let's take a look at last weekend's box office because it's really interesting. Number 10 is The Apprentice. It made $1.6 million. That's its opening weekend total so far. I want to see this movie. I hear it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
Yeah.
I just gotta find time.
Yeah. Number 9 is A Nightmare Before Christmas, the 2024 reissue. It made 2.4 million, about what's to be expected. It's the time. Number 8 is My Hero Academia, You're Next. It made $3 million for its opening weekend. Well, anime. Number 7 is Saturday Night. It made 3.4 million. It's made 4.1 so far. It's good. It's good. It's really good. I put in my letterbox review, it's like Uncut Gems with dick jokes because the movie tells the story. I love that it's not just one of those paint by numbers sort of historic type of films or biopic style films. It just tells the story of the 90 minutes that led up to the first episode going live.
Let me guess. The ending is literally them going live from New York. It's Saturday night. Cut to credits.
I'm not going to talk about that, but I will say
yes,
it's really, really good. And some of the actors, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the actor that portrayed Chevy Chase in particular is the perfect level of asshole that guy actually is. Billy Crystal's representation is really good in there. The actors are all good across the board. And the filmmaking is good. I was afraid it was going to look too much like a TV show, which is weird because it's about a TV show, but I'm going to the movies. But it does find a way to sort of blend a little bit of cinematic camera movement and stuff like that, but still have that TV show feel to it. And I think it's really cool because even if you don't know that original cast or you're not the biggest SNL fan, if you're someone who likes to see the behind the scenes of trying to make something like that happen, it's a fun time. I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's really good. So that comes with a high recommendation for me. I had a great time with it. Let's see. I'm hyped for Smile 2 coming from Zach in the chat, and we'll get to that in a second. Terrifier 3 out there doing things from Nick. Yep, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Also, Nick,
Corey Michael.
My cat's name is Biscuits.
Yeah, Corey Michael.
Biscuit.
Not the singular. Corey Michael Smith plays Chevy Chase. Okay, I don't know that name right off the top of my head. All I can say is he's great. He's great. All right, so number 6 is Transformers 1. It made 3.7 million. It's made 52.9 million so far, and it's a damn shame because that movie is a lot of fun. It should be making more money than this. Number 5 is Piece by Piece, opening new over the past weekend. It made 3.8 million. For a Lego movie, that seems low, but I know it's confusing to a lot of people.
Who was it that got this in Film Ball? What was that? This is the buy. Oh my god!
Yeah. Yep. Number 4 is
Yeah.
Joker Folie à Deux. It made 7 million over this past weekend. It made 51.5 million on its opening weekend. I
Dude.
included an additional column that I haven't been including for a
Yeah.
while in our box office, just so we could talk about this for a minute. Because there are 2 movies in the box office this week that set records, that broke records. And Joker Folie à Deux is one of them, and it has broken the record with its 81.4% drop weekend over weekend to be the highest dropped film in the superhero genre.
Well, you know why? Word
'Cause
got
it's-
out.
Yeah, and it sucks, is what I hear. Yeah,
Like-
like it had the lowest, it had the biggest drop of any superhero film so far on its second week.
Like the discussion online was hilarious because it was even the IMAX subreddit. Everyone was like hyped for it because it was getting a 70 millimeter print, and then word got out about it. Holy shit! Even the best reviews I saw for it were it was mid, like, and
Yeah.
everyone's trashing it.
Mhm.
Everyone. I haven't seen it because, man, if everyone is going, yo, this is shit. Now, Zach over here in the chat, I absolutely love Joker 2. Happy for you. But if everyone else is going, man, this is dog shit,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I'm still going to see it because I want to be in the discourse. And if I'm going to see it, I think I'm more likely to complete the watching process in the theater. Because if I put it on at home and I'm not grabbed by it right away, already knowing that most people hate it, I probably won't finish it. So
I will say this. I read the ending. I cannot believe Warner Brothers went, yeah, okay, sure.
and that's one of the things I'm interested to see because it
Yeah.
hasn't been spoiled for me yet. So I don't know, but I know it's controversial. So
Yeah, I've read it too, and I the only thing that I can understand about Warner Brothers greenlighting the whole thing is because Joker 1 made $1 billion, so they just were like, okay, fine, we trust you to make us another $1 billion because we are broke and we need $1 billion.
but it strayed so far away from what made so much money in that first film, though.
Which I also didn't like that first film. I mean, I haven't seen Joker 2 yet, but I was completely unimpressed with Joker 1. And
Agree.
The only thing that made this one interesting is the fact it's like, oh, it's a musical. It's, different. It's not just this again, but it just, no, the excitement is just not there for me.
Mm-hmm. I was the same as you. I immediately, unlike somebody else in this stream, I immediately hated that movie coming out of it. I hated it for a lot of reasons. I hated it for the script in general because I didn't like what it did with the character, but also I hated it for being unoriginal in its storytelling and its visuals.
That's weird. I don't see. Are you talking about Biscuits?
No, I'm not talking about Biscuits. I'm talking about someone who eventually came around to the correct.
Who else could it be?
I don't know who it could be. But part of me wonders if the director, if he's like, everybody ripped me a new asshole for basically aping Martin Scorsese in my movie. So in the second one, I'm just going to go completely off the rails and be really different. And that didn't work out for him, it sounds like.
Well, it subverts your expectations for the sake of subverting your expectations.
Exactly.
You should be happy that it subverted your expectations.
Should I?
Well, it's one of those sequels. It basically does this to everyone.
Yeah,
even
it does.
Fans.
And to Warner Brothers.
And to Warner Brothers. And to itself.
Yes.
And it's like, what?
It's wild to me. And the only positive I'm hearing about the movie, though, is cinematography is pretty good. So I guess for that, I'll see it in the theater and decide. It's just, I'm trying to build myself up to it because it's so long. And I'm like, it's so long. And if it's that
like
that bad,
hours.
but that's long. I want to be out in an hour 20.
Okay, well, no, that is not. I don't think any of these films outside of Nightmare Before Christmas is an hour.
Yeah, I know. So Zach Moffat in the chat says 3.5 out of 5 for him. So I mean, that's still a decent score. So I'm glad you liked it.
Wait. You absolutely loved it, and then you gave it a 3.5.
That's actually doable. There are movies that I give a 1 out of 5 that I absolutely love.
Yeah, but not everything can be The Room.
Well, but I can do that. I can give a movie. I can be realistic in my criticism of a movie, but love it for my own reasons outside of that. I think it's two separate things.
That's the movie that should have been ripped off for Joker 2.
Exactly. That's true.
I heard Megaopolis was like The Room.
That could be good.
No,
That
like
could-
people were laughing at it in the audience, like that it was a Room-esque experience of watching it and being like,
I have heard people say that critics say that maybe in 10 years that movie is going to be one of those cult classic type of movies in that way. That it's just
okay.
bad good. I don't know. We'll see. It the problem with it is those types of movies need to be short. Megalopolis is pretty long, right? It's like 2.5 or 2:45, something like that.
How come I can't get running time on here?
That's weird.
138 minutes. So 2 hours and 15.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not terrible. All right. So, Steven, besides the taxi ripoff part, did you think Joker 1 had good performances?
Well,
Joker
it wasn't
1.
Taxi Driver. It was the King of Comedy.
Well, it was both. It was Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. It was both. I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance was good. I don't remember anybody else from the movie looking back on it, though. I just remember he did a good job. But Joaquin Phoenix is always good. It's not, him being good is not enough for me to give a positive. I have a positive experience. It has to be good outside of that, because absolutely he did a great job with the material he was given, for sure.
I remember the very lackluster performance of Robert De Niro trying to be essentially Jay Leno. Like, he wasn't even trying to be Carson. It was just so bland of a late night host that Jay Leno is the one that just immediately pops to mind.
I get that. I'm glad you liked it, though, Zach. That's Zach in the chat, not Zach in the stream. Zach in the stream. Zach in the stream did like it, but then he changed. He came over.
You let it sit for a few years and you go,
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So continue on. Number 3 is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. It made 7.3 million. It's made 275.8 million so far. I had a good time with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. It's not perfect, but it is fun.
Do you think in a few years you'll be like,
I don't think so. I think in a few years I'll be like, it's fine, you know. And if they were out in a box set, I'd watch them both, because overall I enjoyed it. There are a few little problems with it. I think there's 3 plot threads in that movie, and one of those plot threads is basically there for a joke. And the problem is it's too heavy. Like, the plot thread seems like it means too much to make the joke work, and that's a problem for people. And also there's a one problematic part in the movie that is questionable. I think we talked about it. But overall, I will say that it's a fun time. Michael Keaton's great in it. Whole cast is good. It's fun. But something that I will be talking about still being great years from now is The Wild Robot at number 2. 14 million it made.
I need to see this.
It's made 84.2 million so far. I think this is DreamWorks Animation's best movie. I think it's the best animated movie that they've done.
Over How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, I think I like it slightly better, because How to Train Your Dragon, I love it, but it does read a little bit of other stories, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just does. I just feel like a Wild Robot looks better. The animation is better, and obviously it should be, because How to Train Your Dragon's got some age on it. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's really good, and probably, looking at the list right now, the best movie in this list. I haven't seen Piece by Piece yet, but I think Wild Robot is probably the best movie on this list. Number 1 is Terrifier 3. It opened with $18.9 million, which is a pretty incredible opening for an extreme horror movie. That
extreme, unrated, no marketing horror movie.
So, and this is the part I've kind of been talking about it on my TikTok, because I can't believe people aren't making a bigger deal about this. But Terrifier 3 uh, is historic now because it is the only movie, not rated movie, to debut at #1 on the box office since the MPAA started in 1968.
Well, if you don't count Beyonce's,
Renaissance, which
Yeah.
is a concert film.
it's a concert film, but this is a narrative.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. It is. They can wear that badge. Those filmmakers can wear that badge till the end of time now because it's crazy. And you know, you would think. You would think. There's been a few other movies. I made a list the other day. Precious is the one I'm thinking about. Precious came out not rated. A lot of people didn't know that. Precious made a lot more money than Terrifier is probably going to make. It made $63 million.
Precious was rated R.
Look it up, sir. Look on IMDb right now and see if it's rated.
Precious, the story by Sapphire.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's rated R.
I'm gonna pull it up right now
Precious, rated R. Wow.
because I just looked. I just looked at this the other day. Let's see.
It says not rated at the top, but I distinctly rated R for. Yeah, it's rated R.
Well, I think we would have to go back and look it up because, and I think that's why it's not rated in one place and rated at another place because
Okay,
it
well, the
was.
motion picture rating was rated R for child abuse, including a sexual assault and pervasive language.
And I don't know if that was during the theatrical run or if it was released limited because it's definitely listed as one that was released not rated.
I mean, maybe at the beginning, but
Well, that's what I mean. And when we're talking about a debut, we're talking about a debut, and it did not debut in #1 at the box office. Terrifier 3 is the only movie to do that. And that's crazy because it's an extreme horror movie. How does a movie like that? Obviously, the box office is down right now, and that's part of it.
well, it's simple. You have word of mouth. It's kind of like Trick or Treat being this film that didn't get a theatrical release, but you go to Annie Spirit Halloween, and it's all over the place because people discovered it later.
Yeah.
Terrifier is a film that you had some word of mouth, and then Terrifier 2 comes out. It gains more traction.
Mhm.
Over the years, Art the Clown is becoming an iconic killer, the likes of which of Jason, Freddy, and Jigsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have this no marketing campaign basically of word of mouth.
It's so interesting to look at what happened this year so far, marketing wise. The two most interesting films are Terrifier 3 and Longlegs. Longlegs went with this sort of vague, not telling you anything marketing style that blew it up. And then Terrifier 3 has probably been one of the most successful word of mouth films of all time. It's fascinating. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to see it this week. I hear that Terrifier 2 script wise is still better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I hear
Yes.
and that's unfortunate to me because I would like to have seen them improve with the storytelling a little bit.
Well,
But
I can explain why without
I don't want you
going
to.
into spoilers.
No, I'd rather you didn't. Just let me go in cold. I just
Yeah,
want to go in cold.
I mean, people saying 2 is worse. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna disagree with you there.
Yeah, I just want to go into it cold.
It has several problems, but I mean, acting is all fine. The gore is all good. Like,
Yeah,
it's all there. It's just all my issues are with the script.
yeah. I'm gonna try. Hopefully, if I can get work done and stuff early enough tomorrow, I'm gonna see it with a double with something else. There are things opening this weekend if you want to see them. Smile 2 is opening. It's 82% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. That's a little surprising. But if you happen to be in an area that has this movie, Anora is opening in limited release.
Man, y'all should see that film.
It's at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and no hyperbole whatsoever. That movie is 100% to me. It's a 5 out of 5. I change nothing about that movie. The longer I've said on it,
I would change one thing.
I wouldn't even change
that scene. I would change that scene. It's just a little.
Nah, leave it alone. I think the movie's great. I think it is a top 10 contender, and I'm hearing Oscar potential for the lead actress, and I think that's valid because she's fantastic in it. It's really good. If you happen to be somewhere where it's opening, because it is limited this week, but it will be opening wide. I think the week after or something, like really
Yeah,
soon.
Halloween weekend or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the recommended movie to see.
I mean, our
Let's
art house
see.
is getting a fucking 35 millimeter print of it for a week, which is, damn it.
Okay, so Terrifier 3 was pretty good. Better than 2, says caffeine and sleeping pills. Is that, I think that's Alan, right?
What?
I think that's Alan. Alan, isn't that you, sir? I think that's you. And then, is it as good as Dark Knight Rises? Are we talking about
Climax sequences or the rest of the movie?
Yeah, that's the question.
I guess, yeah, it is Alan. Hey, Alan.
Yeah, that's what I thought so. I thought that was his username on here. What's up? All right, so we only have one story we're possibly going to do, but it is spooky season, and we haven't actually just bullshitted here because we've been out for a few weeks because of a lot of things. So we are going to talk about 5 films that we recommend for you guys to watch for spooky season. You got a few weeks left, and being the overachiever, I have mine here in physical beside me.
Okay, quick rules about this.
Yeah.
Can we name a film that someone else has named?
I would, yeah, if that happens, yeah, sure, why not?
Because I mean, I feel like we're going to overlap a little bit.
I don't know. I tried to go a little different than I normally would go this time, so maybe not. So should we do this like round robin style? You want to do one at a time? That way.
Round robin, one at a time's fine.
All right. Well, let's start with since you're to my right on the screen. Let's start with Nico.
All right. Oh, okay. I will go with the super basic answer just to get it out of the way. Halloween. Yeah. John Carpenter's Halloween, original flavor, Michael Myers. It's literally the name of the holiday. So yeah, can't go wrong with it. I love watching Halloween every Halloween, or at least a day off, or around either side of the holiday. It encompasses all the spookiness. You get the trick-or-treating and kids having fun and everything, but still the eeriness of this creeping sensation, this stalker behind you that you can never quite catch because he's always out of the peripheral of your vision every time you try to turn around, and you just can't stop him. First is the best. Halloween.
So I support this answer. I did not choose it because I figured it would be in someone else's list or it would come up because it is just the definitive Halloween movie. Also seasonal because you watch that, there's the leaves blowing, you got the pumpkins, you got the neighborhood. It just feels like fall, right? So it is comfortable that way. So I always watch it too. I didn't put it in this particular list, but I agree with you. I always watch it as well. The soundtrack is incredible. Jamie Lee Curtis is great. Donna Pleasance is over the top and melodramatic and perfect. It's a great movie. I agree with you. You have any comment about that, sir?
Well, I was going to have it as my pick, but now I'm just kind of like, all right. Because it's like, what else is there more to say? It's damn Halloween. So I guess if I had to go with my pick and I can't choose Halloween, then we got to go Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Which is a anthology sort of, not Michael Myers, because if you watch Halloween 2, spoilers, he died. But it's a much meaner take on the Halloween season, more in the Festival of Samhain, to where these people have to uncover a mystery, and it's got some problems in there, but you know what it has to make up for it? It has some crazy good vibes, an incredible score, iconic masks, imagery, and hey, children fucking die in this movie, and for that I gotta give it some props.
Oh, 100%. I agree. There's a big piece of me that just wishes we had seen what John Carpenter's actual vision for that franchise was, because Halloween 3 is second best Halloween of all of the movies. It's literally, I mean, I don't have quite the hate for Halloween 2 that a lot of people do. I think it's fine, but
it's boring is its biggest sin. It's so dull.
Halloween 3 is just such a banger. And is it perfect? No, the script is kind
No.
of funky and whatever, but that's part of the comfiness of it, the vibes of it. It has that 80s film feel.
It's also funny at parts because it's like, you can just hear the porno music kick in at some part.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you want to sleep? Oh, that's a silly question. I mean, you can just hear the guitar riffs, like not playing in the film, but you just start the porno starts weird these days.
But it's also surprisingly, because it's John Carpenter is involved in it, it's surprisingly bleak. Like,
that's why I like it.
Yeah, and that's the real connection to the first one. Really, is the ending, because the ending is,
man, you want to talk about one of the best?
Yeah, it's both of those movies have banger endings that are just so effective. Yeah, that's a good pick. I support that pick. All right, so my pick. Let's see. I actually have IMDb open for this one because I wanted to know the director. So it is common for everyone to be pulling out Hellraiser for the season, but hear me out. Hear me out. Hellbound, Hellraiser Part 2 is my pick, because while I do think there is argument that Hellbound is better than the first one, I don't agree, because what?
I'm just like, oh, that's a spicy take.
Yeah, I don't have that take. I think that the first one is the superior of the two, but I think the second one is really fucking good. And people that just live and die by the first one, that don't give the second one a chance, are missing out, because you get more Pinhead. Like, if you watch Hellraiser, Pinhead is not in the movie that much. It's the last act of the movie essentially that you finally get Pinhead. In this one, you get a lot more of him, and you get the characters that you really love too, because basically this is a story of Christy. Nancy's different movie. Kirsty, she gets put in an asylum to deal with the trauma of what happened in the first film, while there's a doctor there who's obsessed with the whole Cenobites and the whole mythology, and he brings Julia back, who is a really good character from the first film, and it's all same people, of course. And Doug Bradley gets to riff more. I think the effects are a little better. There's a little more money involved in the second one. I think it's really fun. And if you've watched the first one a lot, this is a way to have to enjoy that universe, but not just be retreading the same ground over and over again. So that's my pick for the first one.
I will say I really do like the world building they do.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Nico, have you seen the second Hellraiser?
No, I haven't. I've only seen the first one.
By the way, this box set is awesome.
That looks pretty.
I mean, look at the freaking hardback book of stuff this comes. This is like a library book. So
is that the Arrow one? I know they just had an American version come out in like just a few days or something.
Yeah, this is the Arrow one, and the American version that came out is basically just this piece. It's the same disc, all the same stuff, but it is a streamlined version. You don't get all this goodness. So if you want this stuff, you have to import it. And it's 4K, so who cares? Import it. Highly recommending. 4K transfers are really nice also. So, all right. Nico, you're number 2.
All right, I'm gonna have to speed run all my list because baby stuff. So I've got it pulled up real quick. Next up on the list is going to be the Addams Family, the Raul, Julia, and Angelica Houston one. To go in a lighter direction, it's just I love the Addams Family as a franchise. It's just a fun, spooky family. And this movie and the sequel, Addams Family Values, which is more of a Thanksgiving movie, really kind of just brings together the charm and the gothic aesthetic of the franchise. It's a lot of fun. Number 3 is Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is the 1998 kind of start of the Scooby-Doo back to doing made-for-TV movies and direct-to-DVD movies after there was kind of a good lull in most of the 90s. This one is the one that has actual monsters. So, which is the big twist of the movie that, oh wait, they're real. They're not people with masks. So that was fun. Ernest Scared Stupid.
Fuck you.
Because I got to show some hometown pride filmed
Ugh.
in
Blocked.
a lot of fun.
Blocked.
And then going back onto the more traditional slasher, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Bloody, gory, and Freddy is just a fantastic antagonist of the franchise. Personality, you can actually laugh at Freddy, get engaged. So that's it. And I'm gonna go help with the baby. So I will see you guys later.
Now we're talking about Nancy. Nico, do you know? Do we have updated football numbers?
We do not. I did ask that. We do not have that yet, but we will have that next time.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. So moving forward for Zach.
Got to go with Trick or Treat.
Good choice.
Yeah. You want to talk about cozy fall vibes. One of my favorite scenes in that film is just them walking up to a house and there's, pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns all over the place. Like, love that aesthetic, love the feel of the movie. A film that was unfairly not released. I don't care what was surrounding that. It should have gotten a release, okay? It's a shock to me that it didn't, and at least, it did find its audience, and now is considered, I guess, a modern-day classic for horror and October spooky times, but a really fun movie that is just great to put on every single year. Kind of made me mad too that I hadn't seen it up until a few years ago.
Yeah, it's weird. It took people a while to discover that movie, and it's easily top 5, if not higher, best horror anthologies ever made. It's just so quality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken so long for us to get a sequel. And that's weird to me, too. And apparently a sequel is finally happening, but I've heard that for a few years. So we'll see if it's true.
I mean, I consider Krampus to be almost the Trick or Treat sequel.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So my next, I've had a little theme for my first couple because you're going to hate this one. And that is kind of what makes me love it a little bit more. I'm not going to lie.
God, here we go.
Honestly. Let's see.
Caffeine and Sleeping Pill says number 5, Creep Show. Not a bad pick.
All right, hang on. Sorry, I had an emergency here. Vamp for a second.
Vamp?
All right, never mind. I'm done.
Vamp sucks.
Okay.
Sucks.
Okay. So number 2 on my list, you are going to say that. I know you are. Is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I don't care. I love this movie. If you love the first film, you will have a little bit of tone shock because this is a very different movie. It's essentially a comedy. Now, and my argument is the original film was a comedy also, but people didn't see that. And Tobe Hooper notoriously got pissed because people didn't understand the humor of the first one. And they also gave him grief over the gore because there really wasn't that much gore. So he upped the gore and he upped the humor. And I love it for that. And it also gives us one of the most underappreciated scream queens of all time in Stretch. I love Stretch. And this movie sort of picks up after the other one, not directly after, it's a while after. And this brings us Dennis Hopper, fresh out of rehab.
Coked out of his mind.
And just eating the scenery, dual-wielding chainsaws. How do you not love dual-wielding chainsaw Dennis Hopper? The scene with him testing out the chainsaws at the shop is iconic to me. I love it so much. And there's so many great quotes. Bill Moseley actually signed my copy, Chop Top, and he usually he didn't do it this time. He just signed his name in Chop Top. But I have a picture he signed a while ago with quotes on it. He always puts quotes from that movie because he loves it. So I recommend if you haven't seen it, go in with an open mind. Go in looking for more humor and fun and less of like more intense horror. And I think you have a good time with it. That's mine.
Uh,
I know you hate it, but you're wrong.
I don't hate it. I just go, it's not very good. But you know what is good?
Go ahead.
My number 3 pick, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, come on.
I mean, okay.
Pull that out, and I'm like, this is about to get awkward because I'm just going.
Hang on. Go ahead. Talk.
Okay, so like, what is there to say about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Oh, that it's like probably the best horror film ever made. Like, everything in it is perfect. The cinematography, the sound design, the 4K, the box set of the 4K is perfect. Like, all the characters are memorable. Like, Leatherface is an icon that was
Of course.
completely misused by all the other sequels. It is a beast of a film that 50 years later you put that on in a theater and man, it comes alive. Like, there are few films, like genuinely few films, that you can put on and feel the raw intensity of them no matter how many years go by. Even Seven Samurai comes into this. Like, we went and saw that and I was like, holy crap, this movie's intense for 70 years old. But Texas Chainsaw is eternal. It is, it's classic. I don't know what else you can say about it.
Boy, I feel like you're blowing it. You're blowing it. Because the great thing about TCM is it's all about atmosphere. That movie, like Halloween in that way, a lot of people felt like when they saw it that it was gory as hell, and it really wasn't.
Oh yeah, they were making it like they were thinking it was going to be PG, and they almost got an X.
Yeah, and it's because of the atmosphere and the portrayal of the characters and the really gross production values that are there. The set is gross. Gunnar Hansen's book, he talks about how it smelled because it was real dead animals and stuff. They just used what they found on the side of the road for props. And all of that stuff played into making this movie so much more disturbing than the sum of its parts. Like, you start breaking it down, it's not that gory. There's a couple of really cool little scenes, but it's all about performances and atmosphere. And I agree. I didn't pick movies like Halloween and TCM because I feel like people already know to watch those.
Well, see, that's the problem though. It's like, what are your go-to watches for Halloween? Like, and I'm like, well, Halloween 3, Trick or Treat. Like, it's the old faithful.
Not the disrespect in the chat. He's cool, but art is cooler. I'm gonna go ahead and that's going too far.
Art is more expressive, but I would say Leatherface is a more dynamic character. Like, there is a lot more there than insane murderer. I mean, he's almost like a child that is abused and kills out of like reflex as opposed to malice.
Well, and outside of that, I just look at the quality of the filmmaking. I mean, listen, I have not seen Terrifier 3 yet, but I know what I'm getting into, and no one can tell me that I can look at that and look at it cinematically and say, "Ooh, this is up to the level of TCM." That's just not a possibility. There's just no way. If I go into Terrifier 3 and it is, I'll eat my words for sure. But we're talking about fucking Toby Hooper here. There's just no way. I'm hoping for a good time with Terrifier 3, though. I think I'm going to have that. All right. So my follow-up is I tried to go with some lighter fare this time just for funsies. And I'm going to go with May.
I have yet to see that.
This is Baby's first body horror movie. If you haven't gone into too much body horror, this is a good place to start. Actually, not start. And also, it's, I feel for Lucky McKee because I think this is the only good movie he ever directed. He's tried many other times, and I think he's done some good TV, but this is the one. Angela Bettis here playing the main character. She is obsessed with building the perfect boyfriend piece by piece. And it stars Jeremy Sisto, who's like on TV now, but he was also in Wrong Turn and some other things back then. And notably, Anna Faris is in this, and she's hilarious. So it's light. It does have some gore. It has some creepy performances, especially from her. But Angela Bettis is in here, bringing it some quirky humor, like doing the Aubrey Plaza of that generation. Honestly, highly recommend this one if you're looking for something that's more crowd friendly and just fun horror romp. Then I highly recommend giving it a go. And also, I love flexing this beautiful package here. Very nice.
Caffeine and Pills asks, speaking of body horror, have you guys seen The Substance? Fuck yeah, we have.
Yes, we have. The Substance is fantastic. 4.5 out of 5 for me. I love it. It's going to be in my top 10 somewhere. It's so good. Outside of the sort of storytelling and the social commentary and all that cool stuff that's in there, Demi Moore reminds us that she can act because she kills it in this movie. She has one particular scene that's just so effective.
I can't look at a Thanksgiving turkey the same way.
True.
Was it a chicken?
Exactly.
God, that scene is just...
It's something, man. It is something. So good. All right, boy. What is your next movie?
Okay, I did that one. I'm gonna go. We're just gonna keep it basic bitch here, but it's true. This is what I watched during Halloween season. Evil Dead 2, the best Evil Dead film, sequel remake of Evil Dead 1, essentially. It's Sam Raimi, like, absolutely on fire. Everything is on fire in that movie. There's not a wasted minute in it. Bruce Campbell is hilarious. It has just, it's an icon of horror films, and yeah, there's gore in there, but I mean, it's so lighthearted and slapstick. You throw this on at a party, everyone's gonna have a great time. You throw this on at a midnight movie, everyone's gonna have a great time. Throw this on at 2 p.m. in the afternoon because you're lying down, not sure what to put on, you're gonna have a great time. It's Evil Dead 2.
Real quick, Avocado Antis 94 says The Substance is my number one movie of the year. It was so good. Holy shit. And we agree. We agree with you on that. I don't know if we agree about it being number one. It's too early for me to tell. But that's a big slot to fill this year with the quality of stuff we've seen.
But fucking stiff competition.
It
for that
does.
Slot. Okay.
But it's in the discussion for sure because it's that good. But back real quick to Evil Dead 2. It's pretty consistently agreed on that Evil Dead 2 is better as a film than Evil Dead 1. But what I love about Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2 is it depends on my mood. If I'm looking for something that's full on slapstick and just fun, then I go Evil Dead 2 for sure. Every day, all day. But if I want something from Sam Raimi that's a little more traditional horror with his spin on it, I go Evil Dead 1. That's, to me, is the big difference. But I also believe Evil Dead 2 more clearly connects with Army of Darkness than Evil Dead 1 does, obviously. And not just in the fact that it sets it up, but in the sort of tone. Like, Evil Dead 2 is like the appetizer to the entree that is Army of Darkness. If you prefer Evil Dead 1, though, Army of Darkness may be problematic for you because it's so radically different than that first film.
I mean, yeah, my girlfriend prefers Evil Dead 1. I prefer Evil Dead 2. But I mean, it's alien to aliens. It just depends.
Yeah.
They're both good. Which one do you want?
Also, I know you two are both sick. Hope y'all staying hydrated and taking your meds.
What meds? We just power through it.
Just power through it. All right. So my next film. Here we go. I'm going with something less horror, more suspense thriller, but I think it's really fun to watch in the season. And plus it's recency bias because I just got this. We're going with The Hitcher.
Oh, you bitch.
Look at this beautiful fucking set.
You bitch. You a bitch.
suck it. Let me just bring that back and forth across the screen. Look at that. Beautiful 4K. We've been waiting for this for years, and we finally have it. And not only is this the Hitcher, it is the Hitcher Uncut, which is something that we haven't been able to get for a really long time. So the Hitcher tells the story of a young guy who is hired to drive a car across the country. And along the way, there is a serial killer who's, taking people out. And of course, that's played by Rutger Hauer, who plays Scary like nobody's business back in that day. I love Rutger Hauer in this movie and Blade Runner as far as being like creepy. This movie is just so well done in its isolation and like the empty landscapes. And for a huge chunk of the movie, it's just the two of them. And I love that too. It's almost single location in that way. That's just them in a car or them on the street. Not a lot of gore or anything like that. This is more about tone. This is more, it's more Hitchcock than Tobe Hooper in that way. It's more about that build up and the atmosphere. If you haven't seen it, now is the time to actually get your hands on it and see it. I don't know if this is streaming anywhere, but you can get this beautiful 4K from Second Sight. And if you haven't seen it, man, go watch it. I hope now that we have this new 4K that it does a theatrical tour, because I would love to see this on the big screen.
Spicy take. I've only seen it once on TV as a kid.
Not the on TV.
Yeah, so I've never seen the full movie. I remember it being really good though, and I remember there's something that happens in that end of second act that, boy, I did not see coming, because I'm like, they can do that.
Oh yeah. Well, and then you get to see it uncut in this movie, or in this version. So if you've just seen it on TV, you saw it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it censored to hell.
So the Jim, the guy who drives the car, is played by C. Thomas Howell, and also Jennifer Jason Leigh is in it too.
Wait, that's cool. Her?
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need to rewatch this. I do.
It's so good. It's so good. It's from 1986. So if you haven't seen it, the spooky time is the good time. Go find it. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I hope so. Right, boy?
All right. So for my last pick here, I'm going to do this off the cuff here because I really couldn't decide what I wanted to go with. But I'm going to go with one that is a little bit hard to find nowadays. I'm hoping that changes. I'm going to go with Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, or Brain Dead in the UK. New Zealand film of Peter Jackson's early career about a couple trying to get together and some damn zombies just keep getting in the way. And it is, you want to talk about gore. You want to talk about Art the Clown, Terrifier being gory. Bro, this movie brings the fucking heat. But not in a serious kind of way. But, I mean, people getting their rib cages pulled out of their fucking body alive in this movie. And it's a practical effects extravaganza of just hilarity, great, comedy. I kick ass for the Lord. And I mean, the lawnmower scene. And if you haven't seen it, you're like, what the hell are they doing with a lawnmower? Well, how the hell are you going to get rid of zombies with a lawnmower? Tie that shit around your neck. Let's go.
All right, Nick in the chat says that the Hitcher is on Max right now. I hope it's the uncut version. This don't we have an Arrow Blu-ray for this? I don't know if it's
the Blu-ray. It is out of print, and it wasn't a good Blu-ray when it came out 14 years ago. But it's out of print, and we've heard for years Peter Jackson's gonna do a 4K. He's working on a 4K. Well, frankly, I'm not too happy with Peter Jackson retooling his shit and getting rid of the grain and everything. So
yeah, that's problematic.
Well, he did for Lord of the Rings.
I know.
And it's like, oh fuck! It's like, are you gonna do this for Brain Dead? Because Brain Dead was like shot on what, 16?
Yeah. If you clean the grain out of that, it's gonna look like garbage. That will be very disappointing to me.
I mean,
And
he even went in and retooled. Oh fuck,
if
what's the Jamie Lee
if
Fox one.
if that
The
happens,
Frighteners.
the Frighteners,
Yeah, he retooled it to where it's no longer.
and also that's the Jamie. You said Jamie Lee Fox.
Did I say Jamie Lee Fox?
You did. You mean the Michael Fox? Michael J. Fox?
Michael J. Fox. Okay, that was a genuine time to get checked for dementia.
Exactly. At least, yeah.
Damn. But no, like the Frighteners, like the director's cut is
Yeah.
open mat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Why? What's the point of that?
Like, and it just goes to this whole, like, I guess he just likes shooting Super 35 or something, but.
So I wonder if it'll be one of those situations where when that 4K comes out, if we just hate it, will there be a Blu-ray that's better?
Well, see, that's the problem. This movie is out of print and it hadn't been released on Blu-ray.
No.
in years.
I mean, will it be in like a multi-pack with a Blu-ray also?
Well, the Blu-ray is going to be from this new master.
I know.
You know it is.
Yeah.
And I again, nobody has seen this master. If it is good or bad, nobody knows. It's just hopefully James Cameron won't mess up this one.
I
was
hope
getting,
so.
Like fooled like clowns.
Yeah.
3 times in a row.
Something. It's a fun movie. Now, the difference in when we're talking about gore, when we're talking about Terrifier. I know Terrifier is humorous in a way, but this movie goes way further in the humor.
I mean,
So
the R-rated cut is 85 minutes.
Yeah.
Uncensored with the gore is 97. Okay.
Hell yeah.
It's not just a little.
Yeah, that's the way. But this one you can watch and it's still more lighthearted, even with all the gore, because it's just so campy.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be laughing.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a fun time and very gory. So it's of the season. So I you got me upset about the 4K now. Wish you had brought that up because I've been wanting this.
This 12-hour.
What? Oh my god!
That's a 12-hour.
Oh, don't even.
Oh,
that'd be so ballsy.
It would be so.
Yeah, because Zach and I are attending our local art house theater's 12 Hours of Terror this weekend. So we'll be watching movies, and I'll probably be posting shit from that. Yeah. Okay. So my last movie. Let's get to it because we've been on here for a while. I can't do all this lighthearted, fun stuff without bringing the heat at the end. So my last recommendation is 2007's Inside.
Oh hell yeah!
That's
more Christmas for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's what's great because it crosses the bridge, right? You watch this on Halloween and it transitions you right into the Christmas season. Because basically, what happens here is you have a woman. I'm not going to go too deep into the whole thing of it, but basically, you have one woman who wants another woman's baby while it's still inside her. That's all you need to know. Sets it up, and it is happening during Christmas, as Zach said. It is gory as hell. It's scary. What's that?
It's vicious.
It is vicious. It is scary, and it's so funny because when you look on IMDb at the cast list, Beatrice Daly is way down in the list, and I'm like, bitch, she makes this movie. She's scary, and she continues to be scary in every movie after this one, including being kind of creepy in Lux Eterna, which is a pretty recent movie. There's really not much more to say about this movie. It is a very simple plot. It's disturbing as hell, as early 2000s French extreme cinema is. So it is not for the faint of heart. But if you want something that's really effective and will kind of fuck you up for the season, it's a good one. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, the only next step from this is if you're going to go full balls out and watch Martyrs, which hey. We did it. We did it.
I mean, I've said this story a good few times, but that one time they played that Inside at 12 Hours and people complained.
To see that in a movie theater in a block of movies would be so fun.
Well, I just didn't know anything about that. So all right, next film is Inside. So to go into that fully cold.
Yeah. Just such a ballsy choice. So that's we've given you 15 films in total that if you have seen them, you haven't seen them, There's some great choices to take you further into the holiday season. I was gonna do over on my other platforms 31 Days of Halloween because I've done it in the past, but literally everybody's doing it, and I'm like, what's the fucking point?
Follow that
Everybody,
trend.
yeah, every single person is doing it. And if you're someone like me who follows a lot of people in the same space, like in that movie space on social media, do you really want to see another one? I mean, I'd rather just, throw out some recommendations and let that kind of help get you going for the season. So there you go. That's 15. Let's see. Is he going George Lucas on Hussey?
I would say he's not really going George Lucas. He's going
James Cameron.
Cameron.
He's not changing the movie. He's not re-editing the movie or taking anything out or adding anything in, which is to me more screaming George Lucas. But he is going James Cameron, where he's trying to take a movie that's, what is it, 40 years old or something, and make it look like it was shot yesterday. And that just sucks. It's just not necessary. I think it's a mistake.
Does not need to look like it was shot yesterday. True Lies does not need to look like it was shot yesterday.
Exactly. Let it be of the era in which it was made, and that just, that grain and stuff just adds more of an organic feel to it. To be honest, it's crazy to me.
Aliens should not look like it was shot yesterday. That pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, it does. It does. So that's more like what he's doing.
I refuse to fucking put in that 4K.
All right. So this is an awesome week for physical media. If you want to buy some stuff, one thing is out this week I didn't fucking know was out already, and that is A Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K and in a 4K steelbook. So the question now is, do we buy this, or do we wait for the box set that will come at some point?
Well, this entirely depends upon your, like, how much you enjoy that series. For me, I need 1 and I need 3, and we're good to go, baby. But if you're a completist, or you're like, well, I like Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, there are at least a handful of us that like that movie.
I wouldn't say
box set.
I wouldn't say I liked it, but I need 1, I need 3, I need a new Nightmare, and at that point I'm like, just give them all to me. Except the remake. I don't need that shit.
Oh, they're not going to include that. Or, well, they might.
I was going to say, it's included in the Friday the 13th box set.
The remake?
The 2009 one is in the box, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
so it depends.
The toilet.
Well, you can't do that because then I would have a gap in my box. And I can't look at that on the shelf. That will bother me too much. So I just leave it in there. Just leave it. It's fine. We don't talk about it. It's just there. So yeah, needing that number of them, I'm like, just give them all to me, because I would, destroy myself and watch the entire run in order. I would do that.
Caffeine and Pills says, I recently watched the 4K transfer of Suspiria, and it was gorgeous. Absolutely killer disc.
Yeah.
The color.
Yeah, I don't have that one yet.
Blues, yeah.
I love that movie. It is a top 10 movie for me, and I really need it in my collection. But I think I've just been a little bitter about it because it's so expensive for what they gave you.
Constantly expensive. It's like $40 constantly.
I'm like, it's $40 for a $28 release. And I'm like, I feel like someone else internationally, Hero Video, will eventually put out a good box version of that's worth the money.
Second Sight.
Second Sight. Second Sight would be great too. But Arrow's got a whole run of Argento movies in these nice boxes, and I would just love to have it in that run. But I don't know how the rights work internationally, because I know it's who is it that put it out here? Synapse.
Yeah, Synapse.
Yeah, and Synapse and Arrow already have a deal, like a dual release situation, where the other Argento films they have put out, and I think Demons they also put out. They put Demons out domestically, and Arrow put it out internationally. So I would love to have Arrow put that movie out in a box that's worth the monies. But anyway, other stuff coming out this week. The Ring is reissued. That one was out previously, but it's reissued in 4K and Steelbook. I think that Steelbook went out, so it's a time to get it if you want it. To Catch a Thief is out in 4K. Cowboys and Aliens is out in 4K. Who needed Cowboys and Aliens in
Man, once was enough for that movie.
All 7 of the fans of Cowboys and Aliens will be happy to have this movie. So there you go. All 7 of you can pick that one up. Brick is out in the 4K.
Hey, that's a good movie.
I was going to say, that's your boy.
Yeah,
and
before he ruined it.
Yeah, before he ruined it. And this movie, I can't believe is in 4K. I have to have it. American Movie is out in a 4K this week.
Dude.
I mean, the movie was shot on film, so why the fuck not? You know?
It kind of burns because it's like, it's coming to Blu-ray. And then like 4 months later, it's coming to 4K. It's like,
I am glad I didn't pick up that Blu-ray.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, so now I could just go buy the 4K because American Movie, for anybody who doesn't know, is my favorite documentary of all time.
Well, I'll tell you why we didn't get the Blu-ray was because Coven was not included.
Yeah, I got mad and I kept my DVD because Coven is on it. So I don't know if it's on the 4K. I hope so.
On the 4K.
Oh, good. Well, okay. Well, then that's a no-brainer.
So if you bought that Blu-ray, you got double fucked.
You did. You sure did. All right, so Land of the Dead is out on 4K, and hear me out. This is George Romero's last good movie. I like Land of the Dead. It isn't to the quality of the other Dead movies, but I do like it. And then after that, it went real bad. Everything he did after that.
Oh, you don't like Diary? You don't like Dog
No.
Shit?
Island of the Dead or whatever the fuck. Yeah, we went to one of those. I think it was on the island, wasn't it? Or was it Diary? I went to one of those. Yeah, we went to one of those because he was there. He did a little appearance. So and that movie's awful. I feel so bad about that. I just did not want him to go out that way. Thanksgiving is out in a 4K steelbook. I think the 4K has been out for a bit, but it's out in a steelbook now if you want to pick that up. And then something called Demon Pond is out in a 4K, which I think is interesting. It's so fun to see all these smaller movies get released on nice 4Ks. Let's see. How did you not include Zombie on your wish list? Are you talking about like this list that I just did? Because I didn't put that only because I was trying to go out of character a little bit. Because I feel like I could have easily gone Halloween, Zombie, Suspiria, or actually no, not Suspiria. I would have probably went Deep Red, Martyrs, and either Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave, and that would have been exactly me.
Jesus Christ, Steven, why you gotta go spit on your grave?
Right? I would go one of those ways, right? So
yeah, you put that on for the holiday season.
It's exactly Happy Halloween, bitches. Happy Halloween. So I was just trying to step out of what was expected. I actually went really light, to be honest. I mean, The Hitcher is really good. May is comedic. So is TCM 2 is also comedic. And Hellbound is really sort of it's gory and great Cenobites. It's more mainstream. So I went light on this list just to try and be a little bit different.
Serbian film. No.
Not the Serbian film.
No.
That is one of the films on my shelf currently that is still sealed up, right? I have had no reason. That was sent to me by Unearthed Films when they put it out. They sent it to me for review, and I'm like, fine, I could do a review. I've seen the movie. I don't need to open it up and watch it again. I'm good. And it's not even that it disturbs me that much because I'm pretty twisted and jaded. It's just like it's a shit film. It's like there's no purpose to what it does.
Well, it disturbed me, and I would consider myself a twisted fuck, but you know.
Well, certain things, like certain effects, just took me out of it and made me kind of laugh.
I saw what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like, it's like a little wiggle thing that happens. You're like, oh, okay. I mean, all right.
Yeah, but
the scene is disgusting and gross, but I see your effect. The implication is terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, no Serbian film recommendations from here. But yeah, all right. So let's see. We've been going for a little over an hour. We did pretty good this week. Not too bad. We lost Nico earlier. As always, you can go to nicoscream.com and see all of his social stuff. He had to go for baby duty, and we get that. Oh, the audition. I almost put audition in my list. I honestly did almost. But yeah, that's Valentine's Day. That's how you ruin your relationship on Valentine's Day, right, Zach?
No, that's how you solidify it and you sleep on the couch, but you solidify that relationship.
Got it. Audition is great. I love Takeshi Miike. I saw someone give Ichi the Killer a 5 out of 5 the other day, and I don't know if that's accurate, but it is a good movie if you want to get messed up, because that movie's something. The opening title alone is gross
Bold.
and very bold.
It's
and
bold on that screen. The font they used, bold.
very bold. So bold. Yeah, I almost put that because I did finally acquire, like, watch. Now they'll do a 4K, but I finally got the bloody edition of Ichi the Killer, added to my collection. On Audition, Arrow Video has a really great Blu-ray. It's older now, but it is still a solid Blu-ray. You can pick that one up. Audition's great. Audition is a slow burn, but if you're into slow burn, like you can't go wrong because it pays you off at the end. I mean, you're good. You stick with it. It's special. All right. So again, NicoScream.com for all of his socials. Zachy boy, where do we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram, Master of the Matrix 91. You can find me on Steam, A Dangerous Mute Lunatic. It's been a long time, so I'm out of practice here. On Steam, I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. It's the shit. In case y'all are worried about, God, they're going to remake that masterpiece. Holy shit, it's great. And you can find me on Letterboxd, Master Z91.
All right. Find me as always on all things OTS movies. Mostly OTS movies on TikTok, but also off the shelf movies on Instagram. If you want to see once in a while when I remember to do it, reposts of my TikTok videos. But probably the best place if you're just interested in what I'm watching. Letterboxd is great. That again is OTS movies, and I'm rating everything I see in the theater. I'm trying. I swear, I'm trying to be better about rating stuff I watch at home. But I just, for some reason, it doesn't work the same. Like, I step out of the theater and I know right away I need to just at least do my star rating for the movie I just watched. I can't get in the habit as well for other stuff, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I'm trying to better myself. So follow me over there. That's it. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.